and Nylene's Nightmare Cottage, where we explore history, mysteries, and other tales of the macabre. I'm Nym.
And I'm Nyleen. Let the nightmare begin.
Disturbing and mature content to follow. Into the nightmare, if you dare.
Yeah.
So you guys.
It's almost like, the guy who does our blurbs doesn't listen to the episode.
Okay, first of all, that's called a cold open. There's a word for it. We know.
We don't want to break the wall, whichever number of that wall is. We don't want to break that one.
So that would be a fourth one. See, I know all the words.
I think that this is a good time to mention, if you haven't already noticed, we have a guest in the cottage today.
Whomst? Me?
Memest.
So this is the time of year where Nyleen and I have so much shit going on. And
like everything just explodes.
So much. And Ace has been lovely enough to offer to come in and tell a story for us this week.
Just what every female-led podcast needs. A man to come in and steal an entire episode.
But honestly, thank you so much.
Yes, we've just been so busy.
Yeah, we're recording this just after Halloween, and
happy belated Halloween!
Happy birthday-anniversary!
Birthday-anniversary!
Thank you.
It's a birthday-anniversary.
Do we have a song for it yet?
Didn't she just sing it?
Well, I mean, I'm talking like official. Like, have we workshopped a full production?
No, I think we just actually settled that birthday-anniversary is politically correct way to talk about this
so we're being
situation.
Yes.
Nym mentioned her Halloween party, which was amazing. Oh, it was such a good night. Yay. Honestly, I was so worried about the rain, and I know you were too.
The forecast showed no rain at all, up until the Wednesday before Halloween, which, the Wednesday before the party day, which is the weekend before, and then on that Wednesday, it was 100% chance both Friday and Saturday, which Friday is prep day. Mm-hmm. And Saturday is party day.
Woo!
So those were going to be completely rained out. And so we adjusted and planned for that. And then it didn't fucking rain.
Yeah.
I mean, it did. It drenched and poured and torrentially soaked my backyard.
I was about to say,
my shoes were not muddy though.
I know. It soaked in it. I mean, I don't fucking know.
The back of my Jinkos did turn brown.
Okay, they're Jinkos.
Yeah, they're Jinkos.
All right. Yeah, they're worn in now. It makes sense. But on the day before, I was fighting God to smoke that brisket. It was me standing in front of my smoker you can't have it!
Yes, it started hailing at one point. And we were because we had kind of moved it so that, because sometimes with the smoker, it you know how if you work in food, you know that usually where there's smoke, there's grease, mm-hmm. and it fills up fast. And so if you do
that's exactly how that saying goes.
Yeah,
where there's smoke, there's grease.
I will end you after this podcast.
I might end you both during this podcast.
That's true. Look, listen, we argue a lot, but it's all out of love. There's so much love here.
They know if they listen to the Gary Hilton up that episode, they know.
I don't think there was any love in that episode. That literally was us talking about the opposite of love.
There was love between you and me, I'd say, but all the other stuff, that's
okay.
That's
anyways,
opposite.
How did we get here? We were talking about
the Halloween party.
Oh yeah, and then it started hailing, and then yes, Halloween party was great. We've been dealing with a lot of stuff here. I'm clapping for some reason, and of course, Halloween.
Yes.
Which I have a 4-year-old now, so that was
a lot of fun.
It was so fun.
I do want to say that my favorite moment of Halloween proper
mm-hmm.
was you guys had come over. I had already given up. I'd had 3 trick-or-treaters. I had my left neighbors, my right neighbors, and there's one kid and his dad that come every single year to tell me how much they love our house.
Aww.
I know. They alone fuel me for the whole year.
I'm doing it for you.
I really am.
Buzz Lightyear from 2013.
I need to get you a trick-or-treat sign. That's what I need.
But then I didn't. Well, and I even did the whole next door treat map thing and everything.
I didn't even know that existed.
I advertised this shit.
I forgot. I deleted Nextdoor because
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's toxic as fuck. But
Anyway,
It's kind of fun though. It's kind of fun.
it's like Reddit for your neighborhood.
Exactly.
It basically, like, if you need tea, like if you want to see Sharon from down the street, like the other day I saw Randy and he was not edging his yard in an HOA compliant feature, and then you see Randy in the comments and Randy's like, "Fuck you, Sharon. I was edging my lawn. You'd know that if you were not back smoking weed."
Oh my gosh.
It's great.
Anyways. All right.
Download Nextdoor. It's good.
So you were talking about
Oh yeah, and so
trick-or-treaters.
you guys ended up like after I had like an hour of nothing after those 3 early on, and I was getting really sad, and y'all were like, "Can we still come by with Bash?" I'm like, "Fuck yes, please!" And not only did y'all come by for trick or treating, you hung out for a bit, and I got one last trick or treater while y'all were there. And my favorite moment of the whole day was going with Bash for him to hand out the trick or treat.
Oh, he was so excited about that.
I'm so glad.
Because we can't do that at our house
Yeah.
because they can't ring the doorbell because
Yes.
the
Dojo
both
pops off. Yeah.
of the dogs will lose it.
You know what was really interesting though? When we were gearing up to take Bash trick-or-treating, he flipped out when he realized that we were putting out candy for other children. Nyleen is in the kitchen and we have this big giant cloth pumpkin basket and it's great. I love it. It's our trick-or-treat, come take it basket.
Mm-hmm.
And Bash is like, "Oh, Mommy, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm getting the candy ready for the other trick-or-treaters." And she's pouring candy in, and Bash goes, "What?" And I'm like, "Well, what's wrong?" And he just starts bawling.
Oh, no.
He's like, "I don't want to give candy to other kids." And
I was like, "But don't you want to share? Like, you're so excited to go trick-or-treating. Don't you want other kids?" And he goes, "No."
yeah, he goes, "No, I don't want to give candy." But so we were trying to have a conversation like, okay, this, it's
Onlyest child in the world.
that he 100% the onlyest child that has ever been.
It's so, so bad.
Yeah, like,
Well, at least he got a chance to do that at my house where he could hand it out.
that's what made us happy. Like when he was at your house and he was so excited to give, that was nice to see, because at our house we were trying to have a conversation with him like, "Hey, it's reciprocal. We're going to everybody else's house. We're showing them our costume. We're asking for candy and they give us candy. It's only nice that we do the same thing." And he was like, "Not interested." And
now, we did actually completely skip over before that.
Oh.
I always, for some reason, I think it's because it's after the Halloween party, you usually go on your vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, oh yeah, after Halloween. So tell us, I mean, you went on...
oh no, we're going to not talk about that this time because my whole next episode is going to be about it. So.
Oh.
Okay, but I mean, you went on a trip.
I went on a trip.
And that's another reason why we're doing this.
Yes, that is true. I've been out of town and that made scheduling stupid.
We circled back to the cold open. I get it now. Okay, I understand what we're doing.
But because of this, I got to spend some time with Grimothy.
This is true. Yes, you got to take care of my kitty. My mom usually stays with us when we go on our anniversary trip. But
not with them on their anniversary trip.
Right, no. She stays at the house and takes care of the kitty cat. the grand cat, as she calls him. Yeah.
My parents call Dojo the grand puppy.
Not the other two.
No,
they don't claim
because
them.
They're adopted.
He's the only one who preceded the actual grandchild.
That's true. But yeah, so I got to spend some time with Grim. And that was interesting because Grim is very different from my cat.
He's also an only child.
He's so aloof. Like, his face always looks like he couldn't care less, or he's very offended that you exist.
That's
there.
just his face.
I think, you know what?
When it goes along with his little tail flicks, it's not just his face.
I mean...
See, I get a look of mild... It's almost like a mix of disinterest and interest. Like, he's looking at you kind of like, I'm waiting to see...
He doesn't do that.
How this turns out.
Yes, peasant, perform for me.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, are you the dancing monkey?
Yes.
Like,
he lets me pick him up and stuff. So that's great. I know he doesn't like completely hate me, but I was just trying so hard to get him to play. And he decided that he wanted to watch me run around the house and throw his toys around. And
so there is a bit of a trick to it. And I feel bad that I didn't prepare you for this, but you have to like entice him with the toy and then slowly hide the toy.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he doesn't see the toy, then he's interested in the toy. But he has to feign disinterest because it's part of the game.
Yes. No, I did try to do that. And he would come into like whatever room I was in with it. But the biggest problem was, I guess I hid too well at one point.
Yeah.
And I was in the hallway and it was dark. I turned off the light because he was finding me way too easy because he's a cat.
Right.
But he started stalking me and I popped out from around the corner. And he got very poofy.
Oh, my favorite
And he
cat.
looked very offended. Like, very offended. Like, how dare. And he was between me. He was, like, in the hallway, like, in the entry. So I couldn't, like, I was stuck in the hallway. And I was like...
It's my favorite. I like to play with his tail after he gets like that because it's all puffy.
Yes,
It's like...
same with Sushi. Yes, her tail gets so puffy.
That's my favorite. I love when he does scaredy cat.
All right. So anyways, here we are. Reason he's here is because, you know, besides the fact that we do enjoy his existence every once in a while.
Don't tell him in front of his face. We went to a fall festival with Bash.
Yeah.
That was actually super cool because it's this place that's sometimes a Renaissance festival. They do it for different things throughout the year. It was fall festival.
He was into it.
Yeah.
He wasn't into the stuff that I thought he was going to be into, but the stuff that he was into, he was like, this rocks.
He really wanted to go in that haunted house, and I felt bad, but I was thinking about asking some of the people on the way out, but I
wanted to, like, if nobody else wanted to go with him, I was willing to take him into the 3D one.
I would no. Oh, in the 3D maze?
Yeah.
I really wanted to go in the 3D maze.
Yeah,
but we got to the point where we were there right before dark.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, I did the like dad thing where I was like, the pricing on this seems strange. Oh, with the fee plus entry plus test.
Yeah.
Like I did a whole thing where I was like, that's pushed me away. And
the problem is that operating expenses are so freaking high for everything right now.
Yes.
And if you want to still pay your people anything at all,
I know.
You know, you have to make the money happen somewhere. And for those kinds of things, you have to have actors inside, and like it's a thing. So
admittedly, I'm 100% part of the problem. Like I'm aware, like I see him like, oh, I don't want to pay that much. But it's
and then that's fine. So don't. Yeah. Somebody else will, and that's fine.
That's what I hope. Everybody, I hope they got paid a lot of money, just not for me.
Right. Yeah.
Too rich for my blood.
I would have done it though. I would have gone with Bash, and it would have been great.
Yeah.
But hey, we've set him up. We know that he likes the spooky, weird stuff. So maybe
I'm so excited.
I want to see if I can find like a kid's haunted house or something like that.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah.
There's so many.
I could probably do that.
There's so many things. Oh no, there's so many things.
No.
I'll show
Ace
you guys some
scared
options.
the shit out of him yesterday. It was so mean. I was playing with him. We were having a good time. So it was right before shower time. So he was completely naked. And I had him put his clothes in the laundry room. And then I started like popping out of places and scaring him. And he thought it was funny. And, we're trying to teach him like, hey, don't slam the door, whatever. He's fine. He's laughing it out. But he started like running out the room, and I would like pop out with like this little bouncy ball I have, and I would just bounce it off his head because it was like one of those inflatable balls that doesn't hurt. Like it's like foamy. Anyways, he thought it was really funny, and so he kept coming out and out and out, right? Well, Ace decided to go all the way out the corner, even further than where I was. I didn't even know he was there. And so I had just jump scared him. I was like, all right, let's go get daddy. Let's go shower. And he goes running down the hallway, and his dad comes out from behind this corner, and he does that screeching sound. What is that screeching sound from?
It sounds like the horde from Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, like it's a mix between like it's like a bear and a Wendigo.
It's like a screech and a growl.
It's the job for a cowboy pig squeal.
No, it is not, because
yeah.
Yes, so he screeched at him and jumped out, and this child, I don't know if he jumped or screamed first or screamed the second time or the third, and then fell on the floor while jumping at the same time.
A lot of complicated feelings.
There was so much. He was like, like when you corner a frog and they start jumping all over. It was like that. And it was so sad. And he started bawling immediately. I had him pressed against me. I'm holding him because he scared me too. And so we are both, my kid is looking at me horrified, crying.
This is a father's right.
Looking at Ace like, what the fuck did you just do? And I was like, what is wrong with you? And he is laughing.
Like this.
Uncontrollably.
Because
and my kid is crying, still screaming. And I'm like, he was just playing. He just wasn't ready for it. He wasn't ready.
So good.
He was fine shortly after, but it was just too scary.
Like, I apologize and I gave him a big hug and I'm like, hey, sorry. I was like, I thought we were all playing. I kind of thought I thought I was on the same wavelength. And you know, like if I'm being like completely honest with myself, I know I escalated a little bit, but like I kind of thought it would still be one of those things where he goes, whew, oh, you got me, man. Sorry. But it was not. It was a long hug and I had to be like, all right, man.
Right before bedtime. And then you wonder why he left you on the floor. That's why.
That's right. Yeah.
That was your punishment.
Yeah. He let me sleep on the floor of his room. So yippee skippy. So that was our week, and that was why you guys were so busy.
Some of the many reasons why, yes.
Many, yeah. The other stuff, but like, you know, that's not intro.
You know, that's life.
That's life. That's just life.
We're here to live it. I'm just kidding.
I mean, technically.
Anyway,
if you want to just like.
What are you going to talk to us about today?
Since I was basically tackling a topic and like I'm bogarting an entire episode, I wanted to make sure that I chose something that would capture a little bit of both of you guys topic wise, because Nym, you definitely tend to gravitate towards macabre topics with a decidedly history based bent.
She's the queen of dark.
That's right. Uh-huh. But yeah, you when you covered Belgunas, it's historical, but it's also true crime. So it's like that's the good stuff.
Yeah, if I do true crime, it is generally.
In a word, edutainment. You really hit the edutainment pretty hard.
Okay.
Which rules, because I love edutainment. And of course, Nyleen, my sweet beloved paramour.
Yeah.
I know, right? You are a sucker for the gruesome mysteries and pretty much the unapologetic villains. You love covering them.
Yes.
A true crime purist, one might say. But yeah, rest assured, today's topic will be checking both of those boxes, as well as a bonus third box for my favorite thing, the Flim Flam Man.
So like absolute chaos for no reason?
Oh, 100%. Yes.
Okay, so are you about to go goblin mode on us?
What would be your definition of a Flim Flam Man?
We did this for so long.
Okay, but for our audience.
A swindler, a con man, a guy who basically every single word that comes out of his mouth is some kind of untruth or grifter. Con. A grifter. I want to say a master class in that grifter personality. Like,
got it.
His name is Marcel-Andre Henry-Félix Pétiot.
I guess he's French.
Also known as Dr. Satan. Dr. Satan! Dr. Satan!
What? I have never heard of Dr. Satan.
Dude.
When you say Dr. Satan, I obviously immediately think of House of Thousand Corpses.
Right.
Which makes me immediately think of Chris Hardwick, fat Chris Hardwick in those days, and his jumping out of the place after doing the little tour.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Satan!
Yeah,
just being really obnoxious about it.
I think of Dr. Girlfriend from Venture Bros.
Dr. Girlfriend.
Yes, I love Dr. Girlfriend. But anyways, Dr. Satan.
Dr. Satan.
Completely different person.
He would earn that moniker at the end, basically. When it all kind of came to light.
I'm assuming this was what was that, Nazi doctor? It's a very similar situation. You just torture people.
You know what?
Just,
there's debate. But enough with the preamble. Let's talk about the man who would go on to earn the title of Dr. Satan. Dr. Satan. Dr. Satan.
Dr. Satan.
Dr. Satan. Born on January 17th of 1897 in the Auxerre region of north central France, Marcel-Andre Henry-Félix Pétiot appeared to be marked as an agent of chaos from his earliest days. Oh, and by the way, real quick, apologies to any French listeners out there for my pronunciation over this episode. I'm doing what I can, but you know how it is. Described as a lonely and unstable child, Marcel would find himself frequently expelled from schools for a variety of reasons, ranging from, quote, overexcitation and lewd behaviors to firing a stolen gun into the ceiling just to entertain himself during a dull lesson.
Oh my gosh. I was going to say like maybe he had like autism, but that's a little further, like maybe more of like a that sounds like a whole childhood episode situation.
Yeah, he had a lot. His childhood, there was a lot going on in his childhood. There's a lot of interesting details, but despite his erratic and often dangerous conduct, his teachers would recount that he was brilliant, gifted, and charming.
So he was an asshole, but he was smart, as most are.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
These odd behaviors extended to his life outside of school as well, where he was noted to have frequently abused animals, habitually wet himself, and just all around made everyone's life more difficult than it really needed to be.
When you say abused animals, like did he just like he did the whole like cat murderer thing?
Sort of. So his thing was he would impale birds on knitting needles and insects. He would stick pins in birds' eyes. And there were a couple accounts that he would lock animals in shoe boxes and just so that he could watch them starve to death.
Okay, so true sociopathic behavior.
Yeah, and exactly. And actually, these behaviors, of course, would place him firmly within the realm of the McDonald triad theory. Are you familiar?
No.
Okay. So basically, the theory is something that was posited a while ago, where these three traits, animal abuse, cruelty to animals, bedwetting, and fire starting, actually, so arson, would be an indicator of future violent tendencies or psychopathic tendencies.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I have a boyfriend that hits like 3 of those.
He should be on a watch list.
Well,
no,
an ex-boyfriend. Sorry. You're not a current boyfriend.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I probably should have had more questions there to begin with.
Wait.
Boyfriend? Well, wait a minute. So now, just something to note, the triad does have kind of tenuous support by empirical evidence as a valid indicator of future violence. I was looking into it, and some recent studies kind of show that it's actually more likely an indicator of dysfunctional home environments rather than actually someone who was born to kill.
So it's nature versus nurture.
Exactly. It's poor emotional regulation and coping skills. It's a child who maybe isn't being taken care of, abused, getting attention. But that's current studies. Oh, sorry, Doji. I didn't mean to squeeze you.
Sorry, nightmare pup.
When the mischief of his childhood gave way to full-on criminality around his 17th birthday, Marcel would be evaluated in a court-ordered psychiatric screening after burglarizing a post box, and subsequently would be pronounced as, quote, an abnormal youth suffering from personal and hereditary problems, which limit to a large degree his responsibility for his acts.
I feel like he's still responsible for his actions, regardless of if he can help it or not. He's still responsible for himself. True,
and it's there's the saying, it's very popular, but your mental health, it is not your fault, but it's your responsibility. Right?
Yeah.
But back in the day, mental health and psychiatry, it's still kind of an art more than it is a science. We're still kind of honing the science aspect of it. So they don't really know that. So when they see someone who has kind of these real big problems, they do kind of write him a blank check saying like, oh, he can't help himself. He's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Now it's interesting because that does count as a conviction, but it doesn't count as necessarily a crime. They basically hold him innocent, even though they're saying he's criminally insane. He doesn't actually get something that says he's a criminal.
So they never actually like put him in like jail. Did they at least put him in an asylum?
Yeah, no, he would actually he would go into mental health facilities and stuff like that, and he would make some brief stays here and there. Oftentimes he would check himself out, which is kind of.
What year was this?
We're talking late 1800s, early 1900s.
That he's like in these mental places or whatever, these mental health facilities or asylums. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Let's think we're probably around between 1911 and 1913 right now. So yeah, basically they're not giving him any convictions, and he would actually have those diagnoses reaffirmed in a second similar incident shortly thereafter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as I've kind of alluded to, there's lots of fascinating context and details in his childhood that we simply just don't have the time to cover here. But I definitely recommend you check out some of the sources I'll be bringing up at the end, because Pétiot's childhood really is a case study for the nature versus nurture argument. It's super interesting stuff. But anyways, after managing to graduate from a special academy in Paris in July of 1915, Pétiot would go on to enlist in the French army as a combat medic.
Whoa.
Yeah, and he would actually serve alongside the French infantry. And this is a pretty big conflict because the assassination of Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand had kicked off World War I the year prior in 1914. Yeah. So things are getting kind of hairy.
So he's literally been deemed mentally unfit, and he's a medic for the French army?
Yeah, but again, it's one of those things where this conflict is of a massive scale that it's almost hard to wrap your mind around, and they needed bodies badly. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he had a kind of a sketchy past, but another thing about him was he was brilliant. He was gifted. So if he had the mind for being a medic, they kind of give him that job on the side, but they stick him with the infantry. They put a gun in his hand.
Oh, God.
But he's a medic. He's learning how to set bones, get bullets out, stuff like that. Yeah. But for the most part, he's fighting.
Okay, so he's on the front lines, basically.
Precisely. And he would absolutely would. He would serve on the front lines of the quote-unquote Great War, and during the Second Battle of the Aisne would be wounded and exposed to phasgene gas in a German chemical attack.
Did that have lasting effects on him?
I don't know about necessarily...
Well, like
maybe lasting mental effects.
Yeah.
Because phasgene it causes severe respiratory effects like pulmonary edema, pulmonary emphysema. It can just straight up fucking kill you. But as far as Pétiot goes, it definitely wasn't good.
Yeah. So he was exposed, and what happened?
Though the physical wounds would heal from that portion, he would appear to suffer a pretty severe mental breakdown, and then would immediately be committed to a number of army rest homes. So these are kind of like psychiatric care units along the front lines where they're taking care of these soldiers who are shell-shocked, have PTSD, stuff like that. While in these homes, though, Marcel's criminal tendencies would rise back to the surface, and he would eventually be arrested when he was found to have stolen a number of army supplies and personal effects.
Oh no!
From his
so
fellow
he's
soldiers.
A klepto.
100%, yeah, because he's stealing stuff like postcards, letters, letters from their sweethearts.
Maybe he just wanted someone to be sentimental with.
Maybe, but he's also just stealing blankets, dude. Like lighters, like pens. Things that aren't nailed down, Marcel just picks up and runs away with it. For these crimes, he would be tried and deemed criminally insane. It's the same thing as it was last time, where they go, yes, you're crazy, and yes, these were crimes, but you're not responsible for the crimes because you're crazy.
Okay, well, they need to put him somewhere crazy. I was crazy once.
But yeah, so after being transferred to a psychiatric hospital in Fleury-les-Aubrais which is a suburb of Orléans, he was once again diagnosed with a slew of mental conditions: mental disequilibrium, neurasthenia, depression, melancholia, obsession, and phobias. Pretty much everything in the kitchen sink, just not kleptomania, weirdly enough, which I'm pretty sure
that's because he stole the doctor's pen before he could do it.
Yeah, he goes, nope.
You can't write that.
No, don't write that. I don't need anybody knowing about my nasty little habit.
No one can find my treasures. What is he, a dragon?
He likes to hoard things. Who knows? Pétiot was returned to active duty and sent back to the front lines in June of 1918, where it said that his job was switched to machine gunner. And he was put on the front lines to mow down German forces.
I mean, fair enough.
Well, if you're criminally insane, where do they want you? Not helping your guys.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense. But Pétiot, perhaps boring of the military lifestyle, perhaps just kind of having a little goof him up, would injure his foot with a grenade, according to some reports.
Just like drop a grenade?
Again, it's not it's not very clear. Like, basically, some people were like, he did it to himself. Some people said he was injured in a grenade attack.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I feel like a grenade is not a targeted one. Like, you'd have to be pretty sure where you're putting
Very
that thing.
specifically, just his foot.
So maybe he was right on
And
the outskirts.
just his foot.
Mm.
Nobody else around him.
Hmm.
So only his foot. Some say that, like, he shot himself, but it was also reported to be a grenade. But either way, he would subsequently be discharged from the military as 40% mentally disabled, which would score him a neat little military disability pension that would persist until his eventual death. So Marcel, he's out after the war. What's a guy to do? Well, I'll tell you what he's to do. He enrolled in an accelerated education program specifically designed for veterans. It appears that the two separate convictions for criminal insanity did not preclude him from this program.
Oh my gosh.
The government program allowed veterans to receive their medical degrees for completing 8 months of school and a 2-year internship. It cannot be overstated. I see your looks right now, right? Like, I understand. It cannot be overstated how devastating World War I was for Europe.
Yeah.
Many of the physicians had been killed during the war, either during attacks or in the line of duty.
Yeah.
And this program was created to help replenish the number of French doctors that could treat the French people as quickly as possible, because
Yeah.
they're in full blown.
I didn't even think about that. But yeah, you're right.
They
They're in
drafted all the
panic.
doctors.
They're just trying to get.
They're like, we need doctors,
Yeah.
and who do we trust? The people that fought
Do
for us.
you want to do it? Sure.
How do we reward these men that we have shell-shocked to their core and turned into ghosts of themselves?
Yeah.
What do we do with these people we've given PTSD to?
There you go.
Let's have them treat the health of the society.
But here's the thing. For the most part, it was great. It was a great program because it gave these people who had not known anything but, like, this conflict, this horrible conflict, it gave them an out and it gave them a future. They actually did get to become doctors who could help people.
And then also Dr. Satan.
But it also it also got Marcel Pétiot. So despite completing medical school through this program, it's somewhat debated by biographers as to whether or not Marcel actually became a physician who was licensed to practice medicine. Some records indicate that Marcel officially received his medical degree in December of 1921, while others show that Pétiot simply relocated and began practicing without finalizing his certification as a practitioner.
Okay.
Perhaps in support of that, Marcel would list in his resume that he was an intern, or intern at Evereux mental hospital following his time in medical school.
Oh, okay. So that's where he did his internship.
A slightly misleading declaration, since technically he was actually an interne at the facility, according to records, which means prisoner or detainee.
Oh my god.
Do you know what the difference in those two words in French is?
Is it an E or is it the accent over the E?
It's the accent over the E.
Yeah.
So he didn't lie.
He either smudged the accent off or he goes, oh, I just forgot to add it.
Oh my god.
But he said, yep, I was there for 2 years. and everyone was like,
he is literally insane. So for him to do something unhinged like that wouldn't be off brand.
and here's the thing though. He had, at this point in time, he had been in and out of medical facilities a whole lot. He had a bird's eye view of how doctors talked, how treatment works. And he was sharp. He was real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And even his scores, when he did do the schooling, they were good. Like, his actual physical skills weren't, like his ability, like his actual, like, surgery stuff.
Yeah, that's
those
the
were
hard
good.
stuff to learn. Yeah, that takes time and practice.
But his test scores and, like, his thesis and stuff like that, way, way, way above the rest of his class. They were like, whoa, this guy's actually a genius. Like, he's smart. So, could be either. He would relocate to the rural township of Villeneuve-sur-Yonne and established his own medical practice. Part of how he did this was he slandered other doctors in the local papers and listed false credentials.
In the papers?
Yeah, basically he moved to town, and I think there were 2 other doctors in the town who already lived there, and basically said it was something like, smart patients choose me because I'm not an old fuddy-duddy and I'm keeping up with the times, and they suck and they're old and I'm not, and I'm young and great.
This reminds me of in Schitt's Creek where the rival veterinarian would post shirtless pictures.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
100%. Like, it is literally that. But yeah, he slandered the other doctors in the office ads. But here's the thing. Apparently, as a doctor, he was awesome, like amazing. He would treat the poor for free. He would stay open late into the night and open on Sundays to complete treatments or surgeries.
I wonder why.
And was apparently very, very easy to talk to. Like people would say they'd spend all their day talking to him and they'd be like, oh.
He's really personable.
The easier
very
to
personable.
ensnare victims with, my dear.
100%. But also, it gave these people a lot of comfort. And like they really valued him as a doctor. They were like, he's the best doctor in this town. He's not lying. He is good. He's a little eccentric, but like we love him. He's great.
So what you're saying is that for all of the lives he's saved and treated,
like whoa. Hold on, wait. I just realized the insinuation. No.
You discovered my trap.
It does not make anything that he did or does later fine. But it should be noted that he also did stuff like abortions were illegal. He would do abortions for people. That's a hot button topic. That's a plus in his category to certain people. Like they're like he helped.
Yeah, so he helped some people.
Yeah, most of his patients thought very, very extremely highly of him.
And then he lost it all.
It was also said that he did engage in very, very dubious practices such as supplying or selling illegal narcotics, stealing from his patients and the town treasury by signing said patients up for social care coverages, thereby receiving double payment both from the patient and the government.
Oh my gosh.
He apparently even stole.
That's why he was so nice to them.
Well, it's like that's the thing. Some got the Robin Hood treatment. Some of them he just robbed them blind, you just got one of him one day.
If you liked you or not.
Basically,
nice to him.
He would just kind of on a whim be like, yeah, fuck this guy. Like he's like,
sounds like someone I know. It's so weird.
Just quit looking at me. But he even he stole a bass drum. If for you to understand like what, like just his grabby little hands.
In what context?
I'll be honest, I don't have the context. He got it. He saw that a bass drum was available. Like it was on the side of the street and he was just walking by and he was like, that's mine. And he just grabbed it, took it. And like they were setting up for like a band concert or something. And he was like, yoink. Like he just grabs stuff. Supposedly Pétiot around this time prescribed a child with a near fatal dose of medication. And a local pharmacist brought the issue up to him. Like, hey man, this is not the right dose. And Marcel got irritated and replied, what difference does it make to you anyways? Isn't it better to do away with this child who isn't doing anything with its life aside from pestering its mom? So like,
oh my gosh.
Again, he just every once in a while, like if someone came at
he really was just like, fuck that kid.
If somebody came at Marcel, he came back way harder. Like he was always like, okay, first of all, here's the reason why you're evil. Like he does that whole thing.
So he's good at gaslighting people.
Good at gaslighting people, but a good doctor and has a great reputation. I won't forget the name this time. It's Bundy. He has that same Bundy charm where people were like, I thought Bundy was the bee's knees. I love that guy. I still don't believe all the stuff about him. Pétiot had that same je ne sais quoi. You know what I mean? Like he had that same something. But, he's a successful doctor. And in 1926, Marcel meets his first love.
Aww. How old was he?
He's 29 years old at this time. Enter 26-year-old Louisette Delevaux. Some say she was an elderly patient's daughter, while other accounts indicate that she was a maid he met while he was out at a dinner party one night. But it was love at first sight.
Aww.
For both of them?
Uh-huh, yeah. And apparently this was a really controversial relationship due to the differences in their status. Doctors couldn't have a relationship with women who were, quote-unquote, domestic, right? It's just not done for a doctor to like date or marry that low below his station. Like,
got it.
He shouldn't even be keeping her as like a mistress, basically.
There's rules about who you can have as a mistress. Like, is there people that are acceptable?
Basically, yeah. It's one of those things where it's a character piece for him, where they look at him and they go like, "Oh my god, he's going that below." Well, he can't be that good of a doctor, can he? Like, it has that kind of effect on them. I don't have a picture of Louisette, unfortunately, but apparently everybody said that she was very, very beautiful. Like they said that she was really pretty, and they said that they were a cute couple. She moved in with Marcel very quickly, and they kind of covered the relationship by telling people that she was his live-in maid, and things appeared to be going wonderfully. And in May of that same year, Louisette even confides in her friends that she's pregnant, and they're expecting their first kid.
I don't feel like that's going to go very well.
The very next day, Louisette disappears. Pétiot complains
After she finds out she's pregnant?
After she confides in her friends that she's pregnant.
Oh, no.
Pétiot complains to his patients and friends alike that his young lover has walked out on him. Some neighbors mention that they saw Pétiot load a large trunk into his car and assumed he may be leaving town to get away from the heartbreak.
To get away from the heartbreak?
Coincidentally, a large trunk would be found caught in the bushes near the Yonne River.
Do you automatically assume somebody who is carrying a large container has a body in it?
Yes, and that's what I was about to say. Like, why weren't they suspicious? Like, I feel like people back then were not suspicious enough.
I agree with that.
But no, like there's something to be said.
They're not suspicious enough at that time. They need to be more suspicious.
Life is short. Life is hard. He's a doctor, very well respected. So, like, it's one of those things where she was low class, he was high class. His word naturally held more weight at that time.
Hold on, time out. So, like, you're telling me that when you're driving or, like, you're a passenger in a car and you're not, like, seeing, like, big bags of stuff on the side of the road, you're not like, oh, there's definitely a body.
Oh, no, not me personally.
Yeah.
I always assume that there is a form of corpse inside.
Right? What about you, Nym?
It definitely crosses my mind if I see it on the side of the road. But if I see somebody loading something into a vehicle,
after their wife just disappeared,
really muscling up, I'm like, that's a heavy
if someone
trunk, huh?
is cleaning their car at a car wash at 2:00 in the morning, I assume they just murdered someone.
Oh, that's a crime scene. That's what that. Yeah,
that's what I mean. There's just some things when paired together.
You walk over there with luminol, have yourself a little rave.
Yeah,
rave.
I mean, I suppose if I knew, I don't know. Actually, you're right. If I knew enough about the situation, I might think it's a little stinky.
It's a little stinky, but again, people are like, he's the doctor. He's the good guy. Like, he helps everybody. He's a little weird, but okay. Nobody.
Yeah, but his wife goes missing and he's carrying a heavy ass trunk into something and disappearing.
They mentioned that they might have seen him do that. They're like, I don't know. It kind of looked like him doing that, but I don't know.
Unhelpful. Thank you.
Right. Coincidentally, a large trunk would be found caught in the bushes near the Yonne River. A foul odor was noted by the townspeople, and upon opening the trunk, they found the headless and disemboweled body of a young woman. Disemboweled as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, womb gun.
Yeah.
There were some who fairly quickly came forward to say that the headless body was that of Louisette. However, without the head, the body could not be positively identified. Her disappearance was investigated by police, but she was ultimately deemed a runaway. Marcel, being a respected, if not somewhat eccentric physician, would not suffer much, if any, damage to his reputation.
Must be nice to be a man.
Yep, yeah. Well, 1926 was a really, really busy year for him, so he had a lot going on. Because he'd actually go on to campaign for the position of mayor only a few short weeks after the discovery of the corpse in the Yonne River.
Sympathy.
At one of his appearances in front of the town, he said, quote, "I must confess that I am guilty of a very serious crime. I stand accused of loving the people too much."
Oh my fucking God.
Standing ovation. Like, everybody gasped, like, oh.
This fucking
And then everybody was like, yes, dude. He basically campaigned on getting the town rebuilt, because that was a big point after World War I, is getting things rebuilt.
Yeah, reconstruction and all that, yeah.
100%. And they loved him for it. During a notable political debate against his opponent, the power would be cut before his opponent's speech, causing a blackout to the entire village. The chaos didn't end there. The chaos didn't end there, as several fires sprang up around the village as well at that same time.
Okay, so he has to be working with other people, though. It can't just be him doing all these things by himself.
It would be discovered that he'd hired someone to disrupt the debate. And, basically he said, go nuts. And the guy went nuts. And it fucking worked.
So was he the first, mob boss?
No, definitely not the first. No. New York exists.
No, but he was the first Dr. My Boss.
I'm Dr. Mob Boss. And please, that's Dr. Mayor the Mob Boss because he won by 80%.
Oh
my
my
gosh.
gosh.
He was sworn in as mayor with 80% of the vote.
Oh my gosh.
And immediately began embezzling money from the town through fraudulent contracts, paying huge amounts of money to companies or contractors that didn't exist for work which wasn't completed or equipment that was never delivered.
H.H. Homestyle.
100. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
A flim flam man. Like,
Look,
so far,
you are the only one that knows that word. I promise you. All right.
I'm
if there
bringing
is
it back.
anyone out there listening who knows, who has before this podcast heard flim flam man come out of anyone but their grandmother's mouth, please let us know.
Validate me.
nightmarecottage@gmail.com.
Thanks.
Validate me. But yeah, they paying huge amounts of the town's money for all that stuff. While serving as mayor, he would meet the 23-year-old Georgette Lablais. She was the daughter of a wealthy landowner and butcher. They would be wed shortly thereafter in 1927, and their son, Gerhard Pétiot, would be born in April of 1928.
So they actually had a kid.
They actually had a kid. They had a kid because it's a valid marriage, right? He's into her. He's a real family man now, guys.
Oh, and fair enough, because the first woman he fell in love with was below his status, so him having a kid with her would have been really bad.
Bit of a scandal.
So this one was right in the right spot, right?
Also, he might just not have been ready. He might have just needed that extra year to really come around. Because in March of 1930, local firemen are called to a dairy farm in Asce, where they found the owner's home on the property engulfed in flames. Henriette de Beauve, the wife of the owner, was found lying on the kitchen floor, her head and face bashed in as part of a brutal murder.
Oh my gosh. And now this is who?
This is just a lady out on a farm. Police are called, and during the investigation, they find that the property has just been burgled as well. Somebody stole all their stuff.
What?
Now, who do we know who likes to steal stuff when he's just around?
Yeah, but that's like so random.
And it does just so happen that there were some salacious rumors at the time that Miss DeVoe and the mayor were having an affair. And in fact, one Monsieur Fiscal would mention that he thought he'd seen Marcel Pétiot near the dairy at the time of the crime.
So he went to the dairy farm for some late night milk.
Unfortunately, you know what's crazy though? When they were putting out the fire, Marcel and his wife, Georgette, they drove by and they kind of slowed down, looked at the fire, but then kept driving, going to a movie. And a lot of people thought that was really shady because they're like, as the mayor and town doctor, you should be here. Like, this should be like, you were there, you should have stopped, and you should have been part of this. And so they were all like, that's weird.
Anyway,
but yeah, with nobody else coming forward to point the finger, Marcel avoided being connected to the murder of Henriette in any way that actually mattered. His tenure as mayor would continue for another year before an auditor was finally called and the details of Marcel's various financial crimes were brought to light.
Wow.
He was suspended from his position as mayor in August 1931 and resigned.
Oh, well, at least he...
The townsfolk were very divided on this. Some despised him, but others absolutely loved the cut of his jib.
Wow, that sounds so familiar.
Stop. I'm doing the best I can. I'm a good man.
Oh, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about another political leader.
Oh, wow. Hey, I'm kind of a narcissist. I'm sorry. But yeah, others loved him. Like, people were, for a long time, they were like, best mayor we ever had. Case in point, when Marcel resigned, a large number of the village council resigned with him in solidarity.
Oh my gosh.
They were like, this is a crime. You can't get rid of him. Marcel, of course, understanding that he still had a base and recognizing that there were now a lot of vacant seats on the village council, ran for office again and was elected councillor of Yon Department on October 18th of the same year. So re-elected, not for mayor this time, but he's in office. But Marcel just couldn't fight that itch. When the council found he'd been creatively rewiring his home to steal electricity from the town,
God.
The town finally had enough. They removed him from office for the last time in 1932. Not one to be discouraged, Marcel took this as a sign it was simply time to move on. Georgette, Gerhardt, and Pétiot moved to Paris in 1933, where he would establish a successful new medical practice at 66 Rue des Clémentines. To understand where things go from here, we do need to take a small diversion into some light history. Light, if you consider anything about World War II to be light history, of course, because here come the Krauts. The same year that Marcel and the family were moving to Paris to begin their new life, a new chancellor was appointed in Germany, one Adolf Hitler. And with his appointment, the Nazi Party officially began to consolidate their power in the country by dismantling or subverting democratic institutions. And if that rings anything in your head, don't think about it too hard. I'm sure it means nothing. Don't think about. I'm sure it's nothing, guys. We're fine. The process would culminate in 1939 with the German invasion of Poland on September 1st. 2 days later, France and Great Britain would officially declare war on Germany, marking the official start of the Second World War. On May of 1940, the German war machine rolls into France, and almost immediately the Blitzkrieg overwhelms the Allied forces. On June 10th, the French government flees from Paris to Vichy, just as the first tanks are rolling into the city. And many Parisians follow suit in a mad exodus, desperately attempting to escape the German forces. The City of Lights shrinks from a population of over 3 million to under 1 million in less than 4 days.
Wow.
That's how many people are fleeing the city.
Yeah.
It becomes a ghost town.
It feels like there was a movie that was about this, wasn't there?
There might be. 1 or 2.
Can't with y'all.
But yeah, it's insanity. You know who didn't leave? Marcel. He basically was out the window, and he was like,
and he became Dr.
Mayor Chancellor Pétiot. No,
Dr. Mayor Satan.
Dr. Mayor Satan. But no, he actually was kind of disappointed in the French people. He was like, why are we running? We need to fight. And then he turns to his family and he goes, we're going to be just fine. I'm going to make sure that we're taken care of. Don't you worry about us. And that was that. But that's just like right there. By the end of June, swastikas hung from the Eiffel Tower. From 1933, so that's when Hitler comes to power. The play's over. We're done with him. Through 1940, Marcel was mostly on his best behavior. In order to reestablish his business as a medical professional, Marcel would leave leaflets with pharmacists, nightclubs, brothels, and bars advertising his services. He claimed that he had the cure for cancer and gonorrhea, and that he could even make childbirth painless.
No.
Yeah, big if true.
So says the man.
So says the man. It won't hurt a bit. But again, this is another one of those ones where he was actually giving valuable medical treatment. Like he was doing the illegal abortions, but he was also helping addicts wean off of narcotics by giving. It was technically experimental at the time. People were only talking about it, but he was like, I'm going to wean you off by giving you smaller and smaller and smaller until we get you off this drug.
Yeah.
And people were like, great. But he was also prescribing other people addictive narcotics to make sure that they had to come back to him for them.
Oh god.
So again, he does this weird thing where some people get nice Marcel, and other people he just fucks their entire life over. But when the Nazis rolled into town, Pétiot smelled opportunity. By continuing to do things like offer illegal abortions, selling addictive narcotics, Pétiot manages to actually increase his wealth despite everybody else in France struggling to just afford the basics. Marcel utilizes these ill-gotten gains to buy a second, much, much bigger home at 21 Rue Les Sœurs. And it's at this house where Dr. Satan is born.
Oh my gosh.
In late 1941, he's seeing his barber. That's not a question.
Why are you asking us?
That wasn't a question. I'm Ron Burgundy. God damn it. Sorry. In 1941, he's seeing his barber, Raoul Fourier, a man with known connections to the criminal elements in Paris. Pétiot tells Raoul that he's actually a member of the French resistance efforts and is the head of a resistance cell called Fly Talks with access to an entire escape network.
Fly Talks?
Fly Talks. He goes on to mention offhandedly to Raoul that his undercover name was Dr. Eugene, and if he knew anybody who was trying to get out of France and escape the Nazis, especially any Jewish people, because he knew it was bad for them, that Fly Talks could help them.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting thing about the name. Fly Talks was the name of a popular insecticide in France often used in barber studios. And Eugene was a brand of hair product, both of which would be sitting on the shelf right in front of him at the barbershop. He improv this. And he remembered this and he stuck with it.
Oh my
but he
gosh.
improved it on the spot, pitched it to this guy because he knew he was kind of a criminal scumbag. And he's like, get the word out. I can help you. Well, Fourier takes the bait. Marcel, ever the con man, offers him a deal. For a minimum of 25,000 francs, Pétiot would establish false papers, provide vaccines, and then deliver escapees to a safe house where they would be taken by the escape network to safety in another country. Ironically, Argentina.
Oh
Oh
my gosh.
He mentions that they should definitely bring all their most valuable possessions to bring with them, of course, because they need that to go with them to Argentina. They need it. And for Raoul, he offers a percentage of Flytox's fee if he can help get the word out and help point out potential escapees to Pétiot. So Pétiot can reach out to them and help them directly.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, 25,000 francs, that's around $150,000 USD at that time,
Oh my
and is
gosh.
approximate in today's money to $2,600,000.
Wow.
I mean, but think of it this way. I mean, these people were fleeing for their lives. They were like, we will give our family fortune just to escape.
Right.
He's keeping it very exclusive,
Mhm.
and he's making sure that he's only doing it for big fish.
Yeah.
So he's only taking risks for big fish.
Yeah.
Well, Fourier agrees, and within weeks, Flytox has their first exiles ready for delivery to safety. A group of French criminals who'd managed to somehow piss off the Nazis. Joe Le Boxer, thief and pimp. His mistress, Claudia Chameau. The prostitute, Josephine Grippe. And lastly, the, quote, hardened criminal, Adrien Lebasque. Looks like a hardened criminal. That guy looks like someone who would
He looks
break
like
your
he
knees.
was a part of the Nazi party, honestly, is what he looks like.
Well,
I can see that.
apparently the Nazis did not like him because he was trying to get the fuck out of Dodge. And they had the money for it. By the beginning of 1942, more than 8 members of this criminal gang are met by Dr. Eugène and are taken to his house to receive their vaccinations. Not a single one of them is ever seen alive again.
Oh my God.
Unsurprising, as the vaccinations they were receiving was actually a lethal dose of cyanide. Now, people know cyanide, especially being injected straight like that, apparently considered a painless, humane death. I know. And I was like, that's a weird thing to say. Like, he's still serial killing these people.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will bring up this thing where they're like, clearly this is only money motivated since he's trying not to make them suffer. On the other hand, there is a room in this house. It's a triangle room with a false door that goes to it and a little peephole that looks in, and it's got hooks all over the walls. That sounds like a pretty classic torture room
Mhm.
of some kind, or gas chamber,
Dungeon of some
dungeon, anything. So there's a lot of like, is he a serial killer who's killing for fun? Is he a serial killer who's killing for money? Love of the game. What's up with this guy? Dojo hears music outside and he's getting cranky. But like I said, by the beginning of 1942, they were receiving a lethal dose of cyanide. He was not giving vaccines, but he was basically telling them, Argentina, you have to be vaccinated for the paperwork. It's just how we get you over there.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, Pétiot's trap would be made an even more attractive prospect to potential victims with means by the end of...
But how, if no one's getting to the end, no one's getting to the other side, why would people continue to use him? How is he getting the word out that he's actually successfully doing this and not a part of, the Nazi party who's making people disappear?
He's very convincing.
It's actually interesting. Basically, there was one lady who would go on and she would go, hey, my husband went to you to get him out of the country. Did you get him out? And he goes, yeah. She goes, okay, well, I haven't heard from him or anything. And he goes, I got a postcard from him. See, here's a postcard from your husband. And he had an Argentina postcard that was allegedly from her husband. And she goes, oh. And he goes, if you want, I can get you to him. I can get you to Argentina too for free. Actually, I'll go ahead and do it for free. And she was like, would you? And he goes, yeah, absolutely. Of course, I'm sure you guys still have stuff at your house you want to bring with you. So bring it over, whatever you need, and I'll get you over there. And she goes, great. And she also was never seen again.
Oh my gosh.
But that's the thing.
Because she's in Argentina.
She's in Argentina. They're safe. And why would they tell you where they are, the Nazis might be looking for them.
Yeah.
They can't out themselves. They can't give up where they are. They're supposed to be gone, disappeared.
Oh.
He really thinks that he's created this like perfect crime, right?
Yeah.
And kind of to an extent he has, because
At that time,
exactly,
people are very hard to find.
yeah, real hard to find, especially like across the ocean.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, Argentina is part of South America. South America is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. And unfortunately, Pétiot's trap would be made an even more attractive prospect to potential victims with means by the events happening around them. In 1942, the Vichy government officially begins their roundup of Jewish peoples to be sent to the French concentration camp, with the eventual final destination of Auschwitz.
Oh.
The Nazis had announced the final solution. We're about to get real sad. Just the first known Jewish family to visit Dr. Pétiot under the guise of Eugène would be the Canellis, Kurt, Margaret, and their young son, René. They had fled Germany in 1933 when Hitler came to power, hoping that the city of enlightenment would be a safe haven for them. And when the dream of Paris turned into a nightmare, their desperation to escape drove them right into the hands of a different kind of monster, Dr. Marcel Pétiot. The Canellis were never seen again. However, weeks later, parts of bodies were found floating in the Seine River.
Wow.
I'll spare you the details, but there is compelling reason to believe that the found corpses were that of the Canellis and their son.
No.
Yeah, it's sad. A total of 9 neatly dissected bodies would be found over the coming months by French police. And while the bodies wouldn't be identified, we know that Lena Wolf, her sister-in-law Rachel, and her husband Maurice, Dr. Paul Braunberger, Gilbert Basch, and 5 more members of Basch's extended family would all seek asylum and, quote-unquote, escape through the Fly Talks network. And all would meet the same end as the Canellis before them.
Oh my gosh.
It was alleged that there was a book of Marcel's found, which had a list of over 60 names on it, but that wasn't corroborated, and his brother vehemently denied that he ever had or showed anyone such a book.
Okay.
But a guy was like, I definitely saw that book in your house, dude. There's something there. An informant for the Gestapo had heard about the network, and in short order, the Gestapo had picked up Raoul Fourier and his partner, Edmond Pintard, and tortured them for information on the ringleader, this mysterious Dr. Eugène.
Oh my gosh.
Unsurprisingly, these 2 big goons gave up Marcel almost immediately, providing his name, address, and his telephone number to boot.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
You're being tortured by the Nazis. Like,
Okay, but it sounds like they were like part of this crime network that was like killing people. Like you think
the
they would have
Nazis
been.
don't know that, right?
yeah,
No, but you think they would have been tougher, is all I'm saying.
you would think that they would have been tougher. Interestingly, though, those 2 guys, they actually didn't think that this was like a kill thing. They actually did think that they were being French patriots and helping people get out of the country. And they stood on that. They were like, no. To our understanding, we were doing this for a good reason. And we backed that up by the fact that Pétiot hardly ever paid us what he promised us. Like, he never paid us. Marcel is picked up in short order after this and is subjected to brutal interrogation by the Gestapo. Head vices, tooth drilling, filing, regular and savage beatings, the works.
Fantastic.
Yeah, right? Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you still haven't really said what he's done to people. It's all just presumed.
Right. And there's kind of a reason for that, right? But weirdly, rather than tell the Nazis about his criminal scheme where he was literally murdering the same people the Nazis were trying to murder, Marcel stuck to his story and was tortured for 8 months.
Jesus.
Actual, legitimate French resistance members would attest that Marcel Pétiot was the bravest man they had ever seen.
Oh my gosh.
Marcel taunted the Nazis the entire time, ridiculing and laughing at them.
He was probably getting off on it.
To an extent, right? He is a textbook boilerplate sociopath.
Yeah.
And you cannot torture information. Like, that doesn't work on
Yeah.
them. Like, it is one of these interesting things where it's not how you do that. Like, they're unaffected, not sociopath, psychopath. But I think this is about as close to a win-win as we're going to get on this one. What with Marcel getting the much-deserved living shit kicked out of him daily, and for Nazi Gestapo scumbags having to weather the verbal abuse of what I can only imagine is one of the most wildly unpleasant Frenchmen to ever exist. For unknown reasons, and much to the surprise of everyone, most of all Marcel, the Gestapo would release Pétiot in January of 1944. Just let him go. They opened the door and they're like, free to go. And he was like, why? They're like, free to go.
Okay.
I have a theory, but We can come back to that later if we remember to. Now, though Marcel is free, he's also very stressed out. After all, he still has 23 decomposing bodies littering the basement floor of his 21 Rue Le Sur home.
I didn't realize they were in his basement.
Oh, yeah. Because you kind of get to a point where dismembering all these bodies takes a long time. A really long time. And what's the point?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nobody's got time for that. He'll get to it eventually. So he just left him there. And he got picked up while he was kind of in the middle of getting to it. But yeah, they had been decomposing the entire 8 months he was there. And he definitely doesn't want the Germans finding out about that. Again, if he just told them what he was really doing, they'd have probably given him a medal.
Yeah.
Like, they'd have been like, we love this guy. This guy rocks.
Need some extra supplies, some hands.
Oh, do you need like an intern or something like that? He's like, please, intern. But they're like, we love the cut of your jib. Using that twice today. I love it. But Marcel calls his brother Maurice. Maurice is finally coming into the picture and asks him for a tiny favor. Can I just get 400 kilos of quicklime, please? Real quick. That's about 882 pounds for us non-metric folks. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of quicklime. Neighbors would begin to notice pretty shortly a foul-smelling, greasy black smoke, which poured out of Marcel's home at all hours of the day.
Greasy black smoke. Mm-hmm. Gross.
This smoke would pour out of his home at all hours of the day. And unfortunately, shifts in the weather caused the smoke to be bottled into the street, and neighbors were rightly upset, not even knowing what they were breathing in at that moment. Because it was just, the street was just filled with this smoke.
Yeah.
And it's horrible.
Mm. But nobody was like, that house is filled with, is coming so much smoke. Somebody go check it out.
After 5 days.
Oh my God.
But one couple was fed up with it. She was vomiting. He was sick all the time.
It would not have taken me anywhere near that long.
No. They even said, like, one of the neighbors who was nearby, he was like, every time he would leave his house, he would go like, why am I thinking about the trenches all of a sudden? Like he would think back to like his time in World War War, and he was like, I'm thinking about the trenches again. It was weird. Like he would just, the smell was in his brain. Memory, and he's just like, oh,
you're making my stomach hurt. Anyways.
And literally everybody on the street was getting sick. Like dogs would not go down the street. But on March 11th, the French police are called to 21 Rue Le Sur and find a note on the door listing a forwarding address in Auxerre. The police ask a neighbor who confirms the property was owned by Marcel Pétiot, who actually lived 2 miles away in Paris. The police call Marcel's home and he picks up. They tell him about the complaints and the concerns that his home may be on fire. And Marcel replies, have you gone in yet? And the police say, no. And Marcel goes, okay, I'll be there in 15 minutes.
He's like, hold on. How much do you know?
Did you go inside? Exactly. He does that. Oh, you didn't
open the door.
You didn't open the package though, right? He did that. He did that whole bit. After 30 minutes though, nobody shows. So the police climb up to the second story and break into Marcel's home.
Oh.
From there, all they have to do is follow their nose, where they're led to the basement where they make the fateful discovery of the bodies.
Oh.
It's so bad. At first, they think they found a secret Gestapo base, and
they're like, "Oh shit!"
And they're looking at the corpses of like murdered resistance operatives because there are 2 like boilers, like furnaces. There's like arms sticking out of the furnaces, still burning. There's parts of bodies and decaying bodies and rib cages and heads all over the floor of the furnace room.
Yeah, it just looks like a den, like a nest for a dragon or something.
Literally, it looks like zombies, like zombie stuff. Like it is crazy. And then they have another room, and that's where Marcel built his quicklime pit, where there were more bodies. Like,
gosh, so he had like a compost pit basically going
full. Yes, and
well, not compost, but you know what I mean. He was composting the bodies, trying to.
And like these police are like, holy fucking shit! Like they're just like, whoa, man, this is a lot. And of course, if it was a secret Gestapo base, that would complicate things somewhat for the French police, because there is a collaboration out of necessity.
Yeah,
you know,
but like, do it on your own.
Kind of. And also the French police, it's one of those ones where it's like, not all of them are like, yay.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, we want to police our citizens. We're going to do what we have to do, but we know it's going to be better if we police them than if you police them.
Okay.
So we will do the evil stuff that we have to do in order. It's basically like, we're the lesser evil. We will become the lesser evil. And so there's this weird contention, but also cooperation. And that's the same reason why the Gestapo didn't tell them when they were like, hey, we found this fucking guy who was running this network. Because they were like, none of your business. It was an escape network. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
As they're cordoning off the house, a stranger rides up on a green bike and identifies himself as the brother of the homeowner. The French police take him inside and show him the basement. To this, the brother goes, oh my God, my head might be at stake. He identifies himself as a member of the French resistance.
Oh no.
And stated that he needed to go home and destroy the files he had in there, as he was sure the officers had already done their duty and notified the Germans, which he understood. He understood he just needed to go home and destroy the documents.
Wait, this is Marcel or his brother?
He says it's his brother. Right.
So this is Marcel pretending to be his brother.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The officers took him at his word, and they're assuming now that the bodies must be Germans and collaborators. And so they let him go. They were like,
Then.
they're like, go ahead and destroy the documents. Because the mood for most of the French, like I just said, kind of, it's like, fuck these fucking Nazis.
We're doing what we have to survive, but also like
exactly
not about this.
Yeah, but like, I don't need to, this doesn't need to be paperwork.
Yeah.
Right. But then as they were searching the house more and more and found pictures of the homeowner, they kind of realized their mistake. They're like, oh shit, that was Marcel Pétiot. And also as they're kind of going through some of the stuff, they're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
These were not collaborators. These were
victims.
Right.
Real victims.
In charge of the investigation is Commissar Georges Massot, who observed the house is full of stuff, like almost to a hoarder extent.
Mm-hmm.
And people said that if it didn't smell like a carnal house, it would probably smell like a library.
What? Because of all the leather.
Basically, it's so crazy because it's full of valuable art, furniture, other valuables, jewelry, books. Like
a museum,
almost like a museum.
Yeah.
And some people said that Marcel liked to go to a lot of like sales and like almost like garage sales and stuff like that.
He was a hoarder.
But also
for valuable. He was a dragon.
He was telling people to bring all their shit. Bring your best stuff.
Yeah.
And so they would, and then he'd go, great, here's your shot. Oh, now look at all this cool shit I got. We'll put this one up. I don't have a space for this yet, so just on the floor. But like
this
they were
reminds
finding...
me of my cup room in Skyrim.
Yeah. As he's investigating the house, a message from the German Gestapo arrives. It says, arrest Pétiot, dangerous lunatic.
Oh.
Hey, at least they're finally
clear. Like, very short, sweet to the point.
They heard about this and they were like, oh, wow, we didn't know about that. But Massot finds this to be likely evidence that this actually was a resistance fighter. Like, he's like, oh, well, if the Gestapo wants him, he's probably a resistance fighter. So he ignores the order. He's kind of like, he's like, we don't need to rush after
everyone just doing the same mistake.
Exactly. And he would issue an arrest warrant later in the night. He goes, if you see him, arrest him. Like, he's doing his due diligence. Some time. But he was like, after that, man, like none of that. Police check the other Paris property at 66 Rue de Caumartin and find that it's been abandoned by Marcel and his wife. The home's valuables are packed up so they can flee. And thus begins the manhunt for Marcel Pétiot.
Oh, gosh.
There actually is a lot of fascinating things that come together to paint the picture in this case, including one person who came forward after almost seeking escape with Dr. Eugène. He stated that he got skeeved out by the whole thing when the doctor told him that the vaccination also had a special medicine in it that would, quote, render him invisible to the eyes of his enemies and to the Nazis.
Wow.
A fucking invisibility potion.
Oh,
he's like, my shit's so good it makes you invisible, dude. Let me get you out.
So sad though. These people were so desperate just to be free that they would believe something like that.
He is very clearly, it is the most obvious, I'm gonna say it again, flim-flammery that has ever been done. And
stop trying to make flim-flam work.
It is the most obvious con here. But they were so desperate because of the situation in World War II, the situation with the Nazis and the Gestapo. They didn't have a choice. Mm-hmm. It was this or certain death. But that's like basically the investigation in him. That's almost an entire episode on its own, and we've covered the important bits that they already discovered. So we hit the stuff we needed to hit. The important part is, while Marcel's brother, wife, friends, and confidants are all found in extremely short order, Marcel himself is nowhere to be found. He's disappeared without a trace, and some begin to speculate that perhaps he did have access to an escape network and had used it to get himself the heck out of Dodge.
Or he was the first Leatherface.
They did find that he had cut faces off of people.
Ugh.
Full faces, full penises. This is another thing that kind of goes into, was he
like a fetishist?
Was he actually a serial killer as we know them here in America? Like one of these guys who kind of love of the game.
Yeah.
You know, like he does these weird things every now and then where it's like, okay, so he is a sadist. He is a monster. But most of the time it's like he loves that money. It's kind of hard to tell. On June 6th of 1944, so this is pretty quickly after this comes forward, D-Day operation begins. The Allied powers storm the beaches of Normandy, France, in an incredible surprise attack against the occupying Nazi forces. The liberation of Paris takes place on two fronts, inside the city with the resistance, and from the outside by American, British, and Canadian forces. After Paris is liberated, resistant forces are transformed into the French forces of the interior, or the FFI. Part militia, part police force, part vengeful hammer of justice against the French collaborators who handed their country to the Nazis on a silver platter. And Paris suddenly became a very unsafe place if you were a collaborator.
Oh.
Just as an example of this, Commissar Georges Massot, who'd been in charge of the investigation into Pétiot himself, was later arrested and tried as a collaborator, and I think they executed him.
Oh my gosh.
With many members, he might have just been jailed, but he was definitely tried and they did not treat him good. But with many members of the French police forces who'd helped the Nazis round up the Jewish residents of France facing the exact same fate. Many collaborators, seeing the writing on the wall, chose to join the FFI in order to hide in plain sight, claiming they'd been true French patriots the entire time. Henry-Félix was a notable member of the resistance, one who a certain French doctor knew for a fact was imprisoned in a German concentration camp. And so it was that Henry-Félix reappeared magically in Paris as not just a member of the FFI, but as a full captain.
So he had stolen this guy's identity, basically.
Marcel literally never left. And when the city was being liberated, he actually played a huge role in the liberation of Paris. He helped to make it happen and save the city. Like, he was organizing some of these attacks on German forces. Right? So it's like, he finally was like, I'm doing that thing I always said I'd do.
Yeah.
Before Georges Massot himself was arrested, he saw this changing of regimes and sensibilities as an opportunity to flush out Pétiot. He leaks a phony story to the French presses, exposing Marcel Pétiot as a Nazi collaborator. He figured a man with an ego like Pétiot wouldn't be able to let that go after all he'd learned about him in his investigation. And man, when you're right, you are right. Within days of the story being publicated, Marcel Pétiot writes an 8-page letter to the paper stating that he's never been a collaborator and boasting about the fact that he's been a ride-or-die resistance man the entire time. From the paper used and the handwriting of the letter, they were able to tell immediately that A, Marcel was definitely still in Paris, because this was his handwriting and the letter had been addressed and sent from a Parisian address, and B, he was serving the French forces of the interior in some capacity because he was using their letterhead.
No, of course.
Samples of the handwriting are sent to all upper forces of the FFI with requests to compare it against the handwriting of their officers, and the trap snaps shut. Pétiot is identified as the man claiming to be Henry-Félix, and he's tracked down and arrested just before he boarded a Paris metro, attempting to escape once again.
Wow.
He knew it was coming, and he was like, oop, time to go.
Yeah.
And they got him right in time.
Wow.
It literally, like, just, they're like, hey, whoop, gotcha. In his possession was a loaded handgun, 31,700 French francs, and over 50 different sets of identification belonging to other people.
Oh my gosh.
People who had gone missing after speaking with Marcel Pétiot. Marcel immediately protests his innocence, standing by the assertion that he was a resistance fighter. He, in fact, doesn't dispute the kills he's accused of, but in fact states that all the victims were Nazis and Nazi collaborators. He doubles down. He's like, yeah, I killed them. They were Nazis. He languishes in a prison for over a while the French deal with the more relevant trials of high-level collaborators and Vichy government officials. But when he does finally go to trial, it's such an insane story that it pushed the Nuremberg trials off the front page. The Nuremberg trials were when they were trying all the head Nazis. Like,
Oh, gosh.
he was more important to the French people. Marcel, for his part, loved the attention. He performed at the trial, shouting in articulate outrage at prosecutors and their baseless accusations, responding with charming wit, a glib sense of humor, and an apparent genuine passion for his fellow French peoples.
Wow.
But charisma only goes so far when the prosecution has a literal mountain of evidence.
Yeah.
And I mean literal mountain. All the suitcases and luggage that was in Martel's house, as part of the trial, they piled it up and left it in the court, and it literally covered a wall of the courtroom.
Oh my gosh.
The police confirmed that Pétiot had no friends in any of the major resistance groups. Some of the resistance groups he spoke of had never existed, and there was no proof of any of his claimed exploits. Prosecutors eventually charged him with at least 27 murders for profit. Their estimate of his gains was as much as 200 million francs gained during all these murders. Included in the identification documents, though, that he had, the altered ration card of 8-year-old René Canellis. He was that young boy, the first family. And that was the nail in the coffin for Marcel's trial. And I think that if that's not karma, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Basically, got him back. He was convicted for 23 kills. Based on the crimes, he could be attached to 60, and estimates go as high as 160 people he possibly killed.
And it's horrible to say, but like at the end of the day, it's like, well, at least he's behind bars, right? But then also like the justice for all those people. It's so sad.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Some of the focus was taken off of him because of the horror going around them.
Yeah.
They're like,
they have bigger fish to fry.
What is 20 people with this?
Yeah.
And it's terrible, but that was some of the mindset.
Yeah.
Only the French cared. Pétiot was tried on the 19th of March, 1946, accused of 135 criminal charges. And he actually was convicted of 23 kills. On May 25th, 1946, Pétiot was beheaded after a stay of execution a few days due to a problem with the release mechanism on the guillotine. I just can't get this goddamn guillotine to work. Guillotine, sorry.
Well, that's weird.
Right? He was buried at Ivory Cemetery. His last act was to thank the executioner for his time and work.
Aww.
He embraced the clergy there, like very softly, but he never admitted a single thing.
That's
never.
Something you would do.
Never, ever. He was like, thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry to take time out of your day. Thank you for what you're doing.
Jeez.
He then turned to the crowd and said, "Gentlemen, I ask you not to look. This will not be pretty." He walked with ease to the guillotine as though taking an evening stroll. He appeared utterly untroubled by his neck in the path of the blade, a look of calm satisfaction on his face. The blade dropped, and thus ends Dr. Satan! He's dead. He's gone. The end. But yeah, I love that story. It is a horror story, but
it's just someone who's such a trickster.
It's literally like he's like a trickster god. Like he's like Coyote.
How does he it's like he has a gift of foresight or something to know what's going to happen and how to get away with it and squirrel out of it.
I almost feel like he lied so blatantly that people were just like, there's no way someone would just say that.
Yeah.
And, like, it has to be true.
He cares so much. There's no way.
Yeah, like, because he said insane shit all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that story with us today.
But I love the story. I actually read a story called Death in the City of Lights by David King. Fascinating novel. It reads like an action story. Very good. There's also a really good documentary on it. It's called The Murder Network, a serial killer in Nazi Paris.
So I have two things real quick that I have enjoyed over the Halloween season. I mentioned in my Psychology of Fear episode, The Substance. Now I've watched it and everybody should watch it. And all I'm going to say, because I went in blind and I think everybody should go in blind. It's currently on HBO.
I can't watch scary movies.
The Substance, that sounds so familiar.
It's because I've told you about it twice already now. But it stars Demi Moore, and it's...
Demi Moore, really?
and it's excellent. So
Maybe I will watch it.
but go in blind. Don't look anything up. So the other one is a book called Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang from Kylie Lee Baker. It's ghost horror, but it also follows the experience of an East Asian woman living in New York during COVID.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was really dark, but it was also super fun. The characters were great, solid storytelling. Very much recommend.
Nice.
Just for the record, and I'm going to say it out loud so it's in our transcript even. All music on this show, I've got it noted in the show notes, is all by Nine Inch Nails. It's from the album Ghosts 1 through 4. And when Trent Reznor released this, he made it Creative Commons accessible, which means that if you credit the artist and are not monetized, which we are not, it is free to use to whatever length you want. You can mix it up, which we did. You can use it straight up as it is. Whatever, you can use it. And that's what we're doing. Period. So it's been removed on some platforms for stupid reasons that are not true.
For stupid reasons that are dumb.
That green platforms.
We won the first appeal. Our next episode got pulled down for the same reason. I'm waiting on finding that out. So,
And we're still working on the site. Hey guys, I know it seems like we're like really don't know what the fuck is happening, but I promise the world's against us. Technology's against us right now, and it's not very nice.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing.
Folks, the world's against us.
Oh, no. We're not going to turn into that podcast.
Time to cleanse palettes.
Yes. So I do have a palette cleanser. It is a would you rather situation.
Okay.
And I feel like it fits very well with your story today. So I'm going to ask you first, Nym.
Okay.
And then I want to hear what you have to say. So would you rather, if you had to do one or the other, right? Would you rather have to kill 10 people and get away with it? Like you never even come up on the suspect list, can't be convicted, or have a highly skilled hitman hired to kill you for the next 24 hours that you have to escape 24 hours of someone trying to kill you, or you have to successfully not get caught 10 times killing somebody.
I'm gonna have to have a hit put out on me. I can't with the killing. I can't.
10 people's a lot. I feel like it'd be.
I feel like 1 people is a lot. Like if I
feel like after the first one, I would just lose all sensitivity. And
sure,
like,
yeah. And isn't that part of the scary part?
Right? I know, but it's either like kill or be killed at this point.
Maybe because it's like 24 hours.
I feel like I could be really good at hiding for 24 hours.
Really?
Maybe.
So it's like, okay, so highly skilled assassin, right? You kind of know you have this coming up. There are long flights. You can just take a long flight. Just get on a long flight.
No, I don't want to be stuck on an airplane with an assassin.
Not with an assassin. You don't tell them you're going.
You don't think that they would find you? They're a highly trained, skilled assassin.
That's true, I guess. I don't know. That again, it goes into the thing where it's like the killing thing. I'd have to be able to justify why I was killing these people, and it's like, how are you going to find 10 people deserving of death when I don't even believe in the death penalty anymore?
I just say go off into the middle of nothing without a phone or anything to track you with.
Mojave Desert. Yeah.
No, I was thinking something with more hidey holes, like the forest, or like I don't fucking know. Like,
so this turns into a John Wick movie.
This is Predator.
Basically.
You just want to do Predator. You just want to come. Or Rambo. Rambo 1.
I want to survive by hiding in a place that is very difficult to find and not murdering 10 people. That's fair. That's what I do.
Yeah, I think that you have to choose the assassin one, because at the end of the day, it's like, am I more important than 10 people? No, not even.
No, but I know I'm not good at hiding.
So you're making a moral choice to be killed. You're knowing you're bad at hiding, so you're saying I sacrifice myself to save 10 people.
Thank you so much for coming in and giving us an amazing story.
And a big old history lesson. On how to somehow murder a bunch of people while pretending you are against Nazis while being a weird kind of Nazi.
But while being the mayor and the counselor, and while being a doctor,
Have
but
a good
also
night.
a veteran.
Sweet dreams.
If you have topic requests, book or movie recommendations, or just want to say hi, email us at nightmarecottage@gmail.com or visit our website at nightmarecottage.com. Sweet dreams.